Good morning, friends. Welcome to my show. You can find me on YouTube as the name of Jose Esparza, Jose Esparza, Esparza on Facebook, and same name on YouTube. But you have to add knowledge to my after my name, and you'll find these videos. I'm drinking my coffee here, trying to be relaxed after a week of hard work. And today I want to talk to you about knowledge, of course, practical knowledge in relation to the mind or the different minds that we have. If we observe our different thoughts of the day, we be able to find that we have all different kind of thoughts. All these thoughts relate to our memory and past experiences. But we have to understand that there's a way for us to perceive that different kind of minds and put them in the order where they belong. We have this body and we can not ignore that we have this body, but we also have a psychology and we have to turn ourselves to be a true practical psychologists in order for us to understand what's inside of us. In this past day of the death, 2nd of November, I put some pictures of that celebration on my Facebook, and most of the people that came to see our altar that we built for in honor of Chief Seattle, people come to us. We give him flyers of what happened when you die. People said, "No, I don't need a flyer because I already see the movie Coco that talks about what happens when you die." And for a moment, I thought to myself, that's only part of the truth because when we study what we have inside, our true spirit, our soul is not attached to this world. Our soul reincarnates in different bodies, and the celebration of Day of the Dead is only to have a memory of our family or some member of the family that died. And the belief people have is that when they put these elements, food, wine, tequila, and all the things that our uh, that the person like when he was alive or she was alive, they think that every 2nd of November they come to take the energies of this food that they like when they were alive. But some people mistakenly think that is the soul, the spirit that comes from out of nowhere to visit us and to obtain the energies of the food that, or the taste of the food that he or she likes. Well, we have to respect that. But in reality, when you study the law of reincarnation and the law of karma, it is believed and it's up for you guys and for me to experience that life that we have, what we have inside, the real life, the real objective is the essence, the principle, the particle of the universe that is inside this body. And everything else, every mind that we have inside of ourselves, every thought, every desire, every memory is something that we create, including beliefs. Reality and beliefs are different, totally different. You can believe whatever you want to believe. You can project your beliefs. You can be fantasizing about your beliefs, but it doesn't have nothing to do with reality. Remember when you were little that you have this hero like Spider-Man or Batman or Superman that you like to imitate? Well, it happened to me. When I was 8 years old, I put a towel on my back pretending that it was a cape. It was a cape. And I was about to jump from second floor of the building thinking that I could fly. But I was not very stupid because under me there was loose gravel or loose sand. And I said to myself, if I don't fly, at least I'm gonna fall on something soft. Of course, my mother at that moment looked at me and she said, get out of there right now. So that's a fantasy. Fantasy has big influence in our lives because since we are little, by looking at these cartoons, by believing all these Star Wars, Star Trek, and all these fantasy shows, we built some kind of uh, projection that we tend to believe that what we're seeing is reality. Or if we read a book, no matter what book, no matter what philosophy or religion or belief, you fantasize about what you read and you believe everything that you read, like a little kid who doesn't know the difference between reality and fantasy. So now we get this movie of Coco explaining what happens when you die, and people take that information as if it was a true objective information and they believe that. But actually, we had to read the book of the death. We had to read the philosophy of the past, of the Aztecs, or the philosophy of the Native Americans that we know for a fact that we come to life many, many times. How come we don't remember this? Well, you'll be able to remember when your mind is free, when your mind is not being obstructed by uh, beliefs or fantasy. When you're little, you'll be able to remember so many things that as you grow up, you tend to forget. And even though no matter what age, if some member of your family comes to you and say when you were little you had this accident or you were whatever, you don't remember that, but you know it happened. So we don't remember our past lives because we are stuck. We are in in jail in a jail form that darkness, which is ignorance and a lot of ego that we have, obstruct the connection to our consciousness, which is the one that has the information about our past lives or past life experiences. It has happened to me, and um, the reason I dedicate this time to this knowledge um, and to share this information, these tools to the community is because you'll be able to uh, experience when you start practicing the tools and the information that we teach you in this moment in this video. So let's start by saying that as we're growing up, we we absorb information, and that information is gonna be recorded in the subconscious, and it's gonna turn into a memory. With that experiences as well. How can we conquer a clear perception of life? Well, I always use the sample of the telescope and a microscope. You won't be able to see the stars with a microscope. You won't be able to see the microorganisms or viruses or germs with a telescope. Those two, even though they're built with glasses, their purpose is different. The telescope purpose is to see something far away, and the microscope is to perceive something that even though we have it there, we won't be able to see because it needs to be magnified. It needs to it needs to break into different forms of close closeness to see tiny germs or little things that we don't be able to see with our common eye. Using the same sample, when people believe that when we die we're going to heaven because it is read on the Bible or is written on the Bible, but ancient books tell us that we come to life many times. So this it could be a contradiction, and if we put the materialistic information, they tell us that there is no life of any kind anywhere after you die. Even though we tend to say when somebody dies, he went away, or he turned into an angel, or he's with God, and he's within heaven, and things like that. So those are beliefs. But in true practical life, when we explore intentionally the subconscious, in the subconscious there's the memory like on a computer, the hard drive on a computer. Whatever you put in that computer, it turns into archive or folder or program that you'll be able to operate every time you click on the icon. The same thing happens with us when we learn how to concentrate in something. Like if you ask yourself, how many times I've been in this life, and you close your eyes and you concentrate, you're gonna start perceiving images, and let's be careful and let's clarify that these images don't have to be something that we already seen on television or believe or read on a book. In reality, when you know how to concentrate through meditation, you'll be able to connect to consciousness. When you connect to consciousness and you ask a question, how many times I've been in this life or who I was in past life, then it can maybe happens. It will happen in right away, or it might take some time according to your own interest. You'll be able to connect to that consciousness, and consciousness is connected to everything in nature, everything in life. It says that our consciousness and our essence, which are connected, it comes from the Milky Way in the universe, and is in this body for a purpose. So let's not complicate this already the way it is. At the moment that we're born for the first time, when we breathe, when we inhalate, then the essence gets inside our body, and the essence stays there, uh, willing to grow if we help it grow. But as we start growing up, we can see that the beauty of a child is the essence, the light, and she gives light, and she gives birth, words that are already written. And when they say it gives birth or it gives light, it's exactly what it is. It's a essence, the pure essence that comes inside our body through our mouth and stays in this body in some part, some people say in the atom of the heart, in the atom nose of the heart. Then, with that, as we grow up, we start building what is called personality. From 0 to 7 years old, or even before, we build personality. What is a personality? The personality is energetic, it grows with time, it was born in time, and it grows in time. Our personality is the different images and the different masks that we use in the daily life. If we go to church, we have a different mask, we have a different personality. If we go party with our friends, our personality changes. If we have a birthday, our personality changes. And if we're suffering, our personality changes. If we're gonna get married, our personality changes, and so on and so on and so on. That personality is not reality. It's just a disguise that we use in order for us to be accepted in society. But what happens to the personality when we die? Well, same as the vital energy, the energetic body, the heat that we see, that we perceive in our body, that's called vitality or the body of energy. That's also part of our life. When we die, the angel of death cuts the relation cord that we have with our physical body and the internal bodies. So death is like a thunder that the body cannot resist. The angel of death, he cuts the relationship, the cord uh, that connects to our body, like every time we go to sleep and we're dreaming out on those worlds, uh, on those dimensions. The reason we can wake up the next day because we come through that cord, the energetic cord, like an umbilical cord that we have when we were connected to our mother. Well, that umbilical cord is energetic, and when we're dreaming, no matter how far we are from our body, we always come back to that cord. But the funny thing is, the strange things, the phenomenal thing is that whatever you're dreaming over there, you're transmitting through that cord sensations, emotions, and things that you're experimenting outside of your body. That's why a lot of times you're crying over there, and you start crying in your physical body. You have emotions on your dreams, and you send those vibrations of emotions into your body, or if you're scared or you're in fear, same thing happens. Your body will be able to receive that information that you're having outside of your body. So now, we want you to experience reality. In order for us to experience reality, maybe what I just told you right now sounds very complicated, but it's not. When we understand that we have too many minds in ourselves, then we gotta put things together. As we grow up, we develop what is called the sensorial mind. Objects, things, names. When you're little, you call your mom, what is this called? What is this? What is this? What is this? There are so many questions. Many times, even if you told the child many times the name of different items or different things, he will continue asking. Why? Because at the moment that he's growing up, at the moment that he can communicate verbally with us, at the moment that he starts being part of our world, he starts disconnecting from his perceptional, spiritual uh, side, and he starts connecting to our sensorial world. When they're little, they remember their past lives. When they're little, they can connect to different elements of nature, different dimensions, but then it's hard for them to uh, explain or to see a difference in reality and what they're experimenting outside their bodies in the astral plane. So as they grow with us, they build what is called the sensorial mind. And this is the problem right here. He starts relating more into our world of perceptions, of senses and emotions and beliefs, that he starts disconnecting from reality. Because a child, when before he builds a personality, his pure essence, and the essence can go into different dimensions. He still belongs to the dimensions of the innocence of the child, and he be able to see things differently over there with pure innocence. But as he grows up in our world, in our society, and in our beliefs, so he starts complicating his life as the way we complicate our life. We tend to believe what the world teach us, what the world told us, what other people believe. They impose their belief in ourselves, and we just accept that as reality, but it's not a reality. The reality comes when you see that the world that you live today is a complicated world. But at the same time, you have to adjust to this world, but at the same time, you have to connect to your inner world again as you were a child, as you were when you were younger, when you were a kid. That's a possibility because the essence is the only one that can give us happiness, peace, and harmony, even though no matter who you are, no matter who you were, no matter what race, no matter what money you have, no matter what belief you have to conquer the innocence of a child, no matter what age you have. And that's a possibility. So, for instance, if you want to start connecting to the essence or to the consciousness, you have to fight what you created wrongly. What is that? Behavior, desires, fear, beliefs, and everything what the world told you, you have to put it on the side and like start all over again. But don't forget what I just said. We have to learn how to adjust, but we don't have to do the mistakes other people do. Nobody can make you do things that you don't want to do because that's one of the freedoms that you have. So if you want to start somewhere, okay, at this point of life, maybe you're beginning your life as a young person. You see the world differently because you don't have the experience. You haven't suffered yet. When we have suffered, it teaches us a lesson. Life will always teaches us a lesson. The things that we believe, the things that we were, what that we grow up with, is not the right thing. It's not the objective of life. If everybody follows the mistakes of other people, is gonna follow the same kind of suffering. That's a fact. So what can we do? Recover your natural nature. Recover and conquer your natural nature. What is that? Free yourself from desires, from beliefs, from uh, negative emotions, negative thinking, negative actions. Free ourselves. Learn how to live the moment, of course, and guide the mind in the proper way. So, what is the proper way? The proper way is to simplify things, to conquer simple things. If you're a person who is very impatient, work with that. Oh, I'm not a patient person. I want everything fast. I don't like to wait in line. I don't like to drive in the heavy traffic. I don't like this. I don't like that. Well, your emotions are obstructed by negative actions, negative perception. Learn how to reserve your energies within. One day I was invited to this meeting about these people who got me into this, what is it called? Amway thing. And they invite somebody that was on top of the line that Red Ruby, or I don't know what it was. They use different levels to say that this person is on top of everybody else and that he's some kind of jewel. I don't know what it was. It was kind of complicated for me. But when the person came, everybody got, you applauding and everybody was screaming. And I was like, because I already know about these energies, I was relaxed. I look at them like, why people act this way? I don't understand. So there was a moment that the guy looked at me. He says, "Are you happy?" I say, "Why is a reason for me to be happy that somebody is on top of everybody else and that he already is making a lot of money and everybody that below wants to be like him?" I say, "I don't care. I am me." So those kind of businesses, it was not meant for me. And if I watch boxing, I watch it, but doesn't make any difference for me either. I might sound bored, but I'm not. When you find another form of life within, you know what makes you happy is the energies that you have, the reserve of energies that you keep in your body, because this is what happens. When you drain your energies or you alterate your energies in any way or any form, that's when suffering comes. For instance, I just woke up right now this morning and I tried to make this video like 2 or 3 times, but I was so tired because I had a hard week of work. So and I was not even thinking proper because my body was tired, so I needed to rest. I did not waste my energy, but I used my energies. But then this day, I'm recovered, and I say I'm gonna use my energies to share this knowledge. Okay, and I'm using the energies, but this is a phenomenal thing. When you teach other people the things that you have learned that are practical and other people will be able to experience themselves, the more you teach, the more you learn and the more wisdom that you expand within your life. So that's you're not wasting energies. You're using your energies to help other people, which is a good thing. Now, if you get drunk, if you use marijuana, which people sees marijuana like is accepted in the society, so it's not a bad thing. But I remember 20, 30 years back when I was younger that there was a commercial on television that somebody put a pot on the stove and they say, and they broke an egg, and they say, this is your brain on marijuana, and you see the egg cooking to a point that it was getting burned. And of course, those commercials, they're not, they're past. Marijuana is legalized now, and other drugs are going to be maybe legalized in the future. Who knows? Alcohol is always been legal. So everything that hurts your inside, your body, is legal. Marijuana is legal. Some drugs are legal. Alcohol is legal. But what happens when you introduce these toxic elements in your body? You start dying inside. You don't think right anymore. You kill brain cells. And those brain cells that give you intelligence and connection to objective life, you won't be able to connect anymore because you're damaging your own connection to reality. It's like suddenly we depend these days on satellites for internet and for telephones, and then one of those satellites, they get destroyed by asteroids or whatever, and then we don't communicate no more. We won't be able to communicate that way we communicate these days. But the same thing happens with our internal worlds, our spiritual worlds. We are disconnected, and we need to connect, but not through what people believe or not believe, but for you individually to connect by your own effort and by your own practices. So anything you believe is not a reality. Anything you read is not a reality. What is a reality then? The reality can only experienced by the one who connects to the element that is connected to everything in nature and the universe. We know there's more dimensions. And one of the first dimensions we have to discover is the dimension of the dreams, which is the astral experiences, the out of body experiences. That in this channel in YouTube, there's thousands and thousands of information of people who talks, but they have never experienced, or they have experienced the dark side of the astral experience. That's not a reality either. When you clean your mind, when you let nature organize and repairs your vital body and your physical body, and you take away from your life the things that are toxic, negative thoughts, negative memory, when you free yourself from all these complications of life, from this past life, this life bad experiences, when you start connecting to your inner world by simplifying your life and learning how to live moment by moment, and don't let your consciousness being influenced by this toxic information or by this information that is not in reality, then you're gonna be connecting to your inner self. There's a practice that I learned with time is that whatever you do in life, always come back to your heart. Wherever you are, wherever you go, whatever you do, always come back to you. Make sense? When you're little, when you're the essence, when you're innocent, you are with you. Because the heart has a perception stronger and better than any belief, than any telescope or microscope. We are within these dimensions and we don't perceive them. But the heart is the one to connect to those perceptions and to those dimensions. Everything we have up here is complicated, but everything we have inside here is clarified. So free yourself from anger. Every time there's a memory of something that makes you feel bad, don't feed it no more. Those are like little animals around us. If you have these animals loose, they're gonna bite you, they're gonna destroy you. You have to put them in cages. And when you put them in cages, don't feed them no more and they will die by themselves. But I'm saying, if you're a person who has the habit of drinking alcohol, cut down the portions each day to a point that you don't need it no more. Some people wants to cut right away and they suffer and they go back to the habit again. Since I know already the habit of alcoholics, because I used to be one of them, I cut down small portions and there was a time that I didn't need it no more. I used to smoke cigarettes as well. I used to smoke marijuana as well. So I cut down, but there was a time that my will was so strong that I just said, I don't need this no more, and I never went back to it anymore. Then you you put your mind to learn things like painting, drawing, cooking, playing instruments, take walks. Always in the intention is to connect to your heart and to stay there. And when some people ask me, where have you been? I'll say, I've been in my heart. When you're out of your heart and you're up here, then we have all kinds of problems. So that's for the physical form. And for the information about beliefs, some people, I know a lot of people with different beliefs. But when I ask them, even when they repeat the Bible to me, what the Bible says, I already know what the Bible says. When I ask these people, have you ever experienced what you're telling me? And I can tell right away that they only have it in their minds because beliefs belong to the mind, to the different minds. You can believe anything, but it doesn't mean that you have the perception that you have the experience. I can talk about Buddha, I can talk about Christ, I can talk about the different messengers, but if I don't connect to the experience, to the reality, whatever they practice, whatever they know, is not going to help me grow because they did their work. They connect, but I need to connect as well. So by repeating what the book says or what other people tell you to believe, it doesn't make you any better. It can make you even worse because you're hiding your intentions in a belief and in true practice, you're still a slave of your desires. You're a slave of yourself. So always come back to your heart. Some people say I don't have a heart no more. I said no, you still have your heart. You just went away from it. Come back to it. Always come back to your heart because when you are connecting to your heart, anything that happens outside of you is not going to affect you. Why? Because you have yourself, and yourself is the heart, the essence, and the soul. Then you will learn how to meditate. Meditation is a science that helps you connect. But not only in 5, 10, 15 minutes of meditation, you're going to connect right away. On the practical life, you have to disconnect by living the moment by the moment. It's like for example, I come from work and when I go in my house, my work is outside. I don't want to talk about my job. When I pay my bills, if I have the money to pay my bills, I pay my bills, and I don't want to talk about bills anymore. I don't want to talk about payments. I don't want to talk about people's problems. I don't want to talk about family issues. I just want to live the moment. And my family, my wife, and my kid, we're trying to live that life. We even tell our kid when he comes from school, free yourself from school. Now you're in the house. Now everything is okay here. Be yourself. My wife, same thing. Leave your work outside. If there's an issue, we can talk about it, how to solve it. And if it doesn't have any solutions, just let it go. Drop it. Don't carry it. Don't carry any problems because problems is like a rock on top of you. It's gonna push you down, down, down to a point that you won't be able to fight no more. Free yourself from that because that's not reality. Free yourself from toxic uh, information, from toxic uh, people, from toxic uh, uh, cigarettes or alcohol or whatever. You don't need that. In reality, we don't need that. I've been there. I done that. I don't need that. And then when you start conquering yourself, you're gonna treat other people the way you wanna be treated. But even if they treat you wrong, you'll be a stranger to that. You're not gonna identify yourself with other people's problems. Even though these days we're surrounded with people with many, many problems and we can see the world the way it is, well, you don't have to be part of it. You learn how to live with this society. You're not gonna change them, but you're gonna change the way you see them. So learn how to be in your heart. Don't carry problems. Conquer the reality of yourself. With more videos in the future, we're gonna tell you more and more about this. So we're not a personality, we're not the body, we're not the emotions, we're not the beliefs. We are essence. We are souls. Living in this complicated world, but you have to learn how to live with it. Don't do what other people do. Respect yourself. Love yourself. And then suddenly you're gonna find other people like you. So I hope this video helps you in your daily walk in life and that you'll be able to find yourself in a different way. Watch my first video that is here in YouTube and then watch this video and put it together because everything has a follow-up or some kind of connection. So thank you so much for listening, for watching this video. I hope you share it and I hope you subscribe to my channel so every time I have a new video you'll be able to watch it. Also, you can find me on Facebook, Jose Esparza, and on YouTube, Jose Esparza Knowledge. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.